Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, Yeah, 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 yeah. Check one, two, 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 yeah, 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 check one, two, 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 one, two. Two, two. Check one, two. Check one, two, one, two, one, two. Check one, two, check one, two. Check one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. Check one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. Check, 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 check one, two. Check one, two. Check, 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 check. Check one, two, 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 one, two.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back. I believe we've all had fabulous lunch. Just again, an announcement for those that remain after the event function. We've got the 3,000 Namibian dollar fuel voucher worth Namibian dollar, not ZAR. Right, ladies and gentlemen, third segment. Let's kickstart this after lunch. First up, Web 3.0 refers to a proposed next generation of the internet that emphasizes decentralization, blockchain technology, user ownership of data, and peer-to-peer intersections rather than relying heavily on large centralized platforms. But here to talk more is our very own team from Salt Essential IT, Grace Kashivena, who co-hosts this event with me, as well as Ronald Muya, one of our developers at Salt. Please welcome them to the stage.
So this company had millions of customers and thousands of stores across the world, and they were making money. Life was good for them, I guess. Then there was a company that was relatively smaller, and this company approached Blockbuster, which was a successful company. They approached them with an idea or a new vision. Some of you might know this story. So the vision that Netflix had was that they believed that in the future, entertainment would be consumed through the internet. Now but at the time it felt like an unrealistic idea because the internet was still very immature. The internet speed was slow. Streaming platforms were still developing. So it felt like Netflix was trying to solve a problem that didn't exist. So Blockbuster had a choice. They could either choose to explore this new idea, or they could continue working the way they'd always worked, doing what had always worked for them. And if you know the story, you know exactly how it ended. Today, Netflix is a global giant, and Blockbuster is, well, a case study. So why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story because history teaches us something very important. It teaches us that technology, or rather big shifts in technology in their early stages, can seem insignificant, but they are not. If you think about where you want to be, even in life as an individual, you always have to think about the future and not the present. So this is where Web3 comes into the discussion. The reason why I'm talking about the story is because Blockbuster did not envision what the environment would be like in the future. They were only thinking about what it was for them or what worked for them at that time. But if we want to change the world, if we want to change the way things are going to work, we need to take a step today. Now, at Salt Essential IT, we believe in innovation. We believe in taking a step early. We don't want to be surprised. We want to be prepared. When things happen, we want to be in a position where we can give answers, not based on theory, but based on experiences, based on things that we've done, based on things that we've implemented. So we've taken that step already, and it's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing too complex, but we are taking a step into exploring the world of Web3. And we've done so through revamping our website, and the idea or the intention is to deploy it on a Web3 application called the Internet Computer Protocol, or ICP. And currently it's still in development, but we will have it deployed and live very soon. So you can't go on the website and see it right now, but it's definitely coming. So what is ICP? Now, when people think about Web3, most of the time they think about cryptocurrency, they think about the blockchain, they think about NFTs, but it's bigger than that. Just like the emailing application was not the internet, cryptocurrency is not Web3. These are all applications that form part of a broader environment, or a broader system that is intended to decentralize the way our digital operations work, as organizations, as businesses, or as users of the internet. So I'd like to, before I go too deeper into the details, I'd like you to imagine something. So imagine you own a shop somewhere in a large mall, and your shop is performing very well, you're making a lot of money, right? Just like Blockbuster was making a lot of money before they became a case study. Now, that's the good part, but the bad part is you don't actually own the mall. So you pay rent every month, you pay for security, you pay for maintenance, you pay for utilities. Now, what happens when the owner of the mall decides to increase the rental fee? You need this location because perhaps you chose it strategically for your business. You don't want to just move all of a sudden because a rental fee increased. It might not be good for your business. So you don't have a choice. You pay that rental fee. You don't like the idea, but you don't have a choice. Or imagine something even worse. Maybe a fire breaks out somewhere in one section of the mall, and now your shop has to close off. You can't operate anymore. You can't make money. Not because the customers don't like your products anymore, or because your products are bad, not because of anything that you did, but because you depended on someone else for infrastructure. And surprisingly, that is how the current internet of today works, because we are in Web 2. Most businesses operate depending on external organizations or external platforms. Their applications, their websites, their customer data, their online presence, their digital operations are all dependent on platforms that are controlled by other organizations. We're talking about cloud providers, platform providers. We're talking about social media companies. So these people control your data. It feels like you own your data because you have access to it, but in reality, it belongs to someone else. And this person has the ability to do a lot of things with your data. We know currently what happens is big tech companies extract data and they sell it to advertising companies, and they make profit out of that. So someone is making, I don't like the idea of someone making money out of me. I don't know about you, but I don't. So anyways, that brings us to why there is a shift that is about to take place. There is going to be an evolution. The internet itself as we know it, and it has already started, is about to change. And we have to position ourselves to be ready when it happens. And that's why we've decided to take that step at Salt Essential IT. So the website that we've developed using we've developed it and we've configured it to be hosted on ICP's implementation layer. So I just want to quickly explain how the ICP works. So ICP is a network, right? Or rather not a network, but an application that is on Web3 is still a development technology, so it can be a bit difficult to understand what the grasp does. But yeah, we are getting there, and that's why it's important for us to actually take that step and learn, because we learn by doing, we learn by exploring. So the way we implement it is that we have canisters, right? So you can think of a canister as a smart contract that has storage capability. So you would what we currently have in Web3 is blockchain, right? But the difference between the blockchain and the ICP is that ICP doesn't just deal with transactions. It allows you to host an entire application, like your back end, your front end, even your data can be within one source, right? So instead of you having a website that is front end hosted somewhere else, and the back end or database hosted somewhere else, you have it all under your ownership. And this is secure, and the ownership is proved using cryptographic identities. So that means that nobody else has access to your data, nobody else has access to your applications but you. So it all belongs to you. You don't need middlemen, you don't need centralized services anymore. So AWS or Azure does not own your data or your applications. It all belongs to you.
Do you want to show them the demo?
Yeah, maybe we should get into the demo. So I just want to show you a walkthrough of the application. So it's just a normal application, how a normal website works. So we had to, because we are no longer using back-end services or database, if anybody else, so it's all in one canister. We had to create a content management system to go with the website. Actually, this should have been playing while I was explaining the. Seeing on your screen, this is internet identity. So, like I was saying, authentication is done using internet identity. So, if you have a CMS for your website, your users don't need to have a password or a username to gain access. All they need to have is a cryptographic identity that is used to prove ownership and to authenticate your users on the system. So this is just a normal UI. This is how our CMS looks like for us. It's not going to be public. This is an internal system. But just demonstrating that it's possible. It can be done with Web3 architecture and applications. And this is our revamped website, which is still in development, as I mentioned earlier. So we are working on, we're still refining it. And once we are done, once we've confirmed that everything works as planned, as intended, and as expected, we are definitely going to have it live and accessible to the public. So I don't think we need to spend too much time explaining this. So I have to branch away from Web3 for a moment and share a new implementation or a new feature that we've added to our website. So for those of you who, I'm sure some of you know about our AI friend, our AI assistant, Zolt, right? Yeah, so currently, Zolt only interacts with users using text. And what we've done recently is we've implemented speech functionality as well. So, because like I was saying at Salt, we believe in innovation. We believe in doing things differently. We believe in growth. And as technology changes, we don't want technology to leave us behind. We want to change with it. We want to grow with it. So I'm just going to demonstrate what Zolt can do currently. Okay. Okay. Oh, it seems my laptop is not here, so I was supposed to demonstrate, but it's with the technicians. Is it possible for me to? Oh no, I have it, but
It's not compatible with the
yeah.
projector. So please bear with us.
Okay, then I think we can just continue. It's fine. It wasn't related to Web3 anyways. But yeah, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, we are just trying to encourage people to take a step. And we know it's when something is still new, when a technology is still new, it can seem very risky. But history teaches us that those who take a step are the ones who are going to reap the benefits when something finally becomes the standard. In the future, Web3 is going to be the it thing. And you want to be prepared, you want to be ready when that happens. You don't want to be left behind. Because 30 years ago, people or businesses asked, do we really need a website? 20 years ago, they asked, do we need social media? And 10 years ago, they asked, do we need cloud computing? And now they are asking, do we need Web3? Nobody knows what Web3 is going to be like. We can't say exactly, but we do know that there are going to be a lot of opportunities that will arise. There are going to be a lot of possibilities because that's what happens with technology. Every single time, it always happens. Nobody thought streaming would be what it is today when Netflix first started. Nobody knew what smartphones would be able to do today when they first appeared. So nobody knows what Web3 is going to be capable of. But if Web3 grows to become anything or anything close to what its supporters envision it to become, then those who are going to benefit from it are the people who are going to take a step today and not those who chose to do nothing at all. So with that, I hand over to my colleague. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronald. So I'm here to speak from the marketing and communications side. So if your website is slow, difficult to navigate, or does not immediately provide value, potential customers or stakeholders will simply move on to the competitor. So a Web 3.0 website focuses on creating seamless user experiences that keep visitors engaged and guide them toward taking action. So whether that action is making a purchase, requesting a quotation, getting your contact details, or booking a consultation. But attracting visitors is not the only challenge. The real opportunity lies in converting those visitors into loyal customers and stakeholders. Modern websites are no longer static platforms, they're intelligent business tools. So through integrated automation, AI-powered customer engagement and smart forms, live chat functionality, personalized user, I wish you could play that while I speak. Personalized user journeys, businesses can respond faster, serve customers better, and generate more qualified leads. So a well-designed Web 3.0 website also strengthens your brand. Your website is often the first impression a customer have of your business. So before they call you, before they visit your office, before they buy from you, they visit your website. So a professional, modern, user-friendly website immediately communicates credibility, trust, and professionalism. So at Salt Essential IT, we believe a website should not simply look good, it should perform, it should support your sales strategy, it should strengthen your brand, and it should contribute directly to business growth. Because in today's competitive marketplace, your website is no longer just a digital asset, it is a business asset. And with that, I conclude the businesses that invest in modern customer-centric digital experiences will be the businesses that stand out, grow faster, remain competitive in the years ahead. Thank you so much. So there will be a QR code for consultation, Vanessa? Yes. It will be displayed now on the screen. Please bear with us. Technology is failing us today, Ronald. For consultation on the Web 3.0, whoever is interested to know more about 3.0, they can scan the QR code. No. It's not you projecting. They who projected.
I thought I have to play. That's what I'm confused.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Are you not going to clap for us one last time?
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Grace and Ronald, and would you believe that was Ronald's first time presenting? So congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is a trailblazer in African innovation, a scientist whose work demonstrates how technology can solve some of society's most pressing challenges. Dr. Maria Nelago Kanyama is an accomplished researcher, artificial intelligence specialist, and advocate for responsible technology adoption. Here to present her take on the Namibia AI strategy, please join me in welcoming to the stage Dr. Kanyama.
Thank you so much. By the way, it's not my tech, it's the National AI Strategy. Yes. Good afternoon once again. My name is Maria Nelago Kanyama, and I am a researcher at the National Commission for Science, Research and Technology, and I'm here to present the Namibian National AI Strategy, which is a progress update. So it's not the final output, so we are still working on it. So this work was mandated by the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sport, Arts and Culture, and led by the NCRST with guidance from the National AI Working Group and the technical input from the Technical Advisory Committee with the support of various national stakeholders engagement that has been happening. So today's presentation, we are just going to look at how the National AI Strategy process came about and what evidence and reports are informing the National AI Strategy, and then what has been completed so far, and the emerging themes that are coming out from the stakeholder engagements, and the next step towards the whole validation and finalization. But before I move on to the Namibian National AI Strategy, I'm going to give you the continental context, which is the Africa's AI direction, which was adopted in 2024, which provides the shared direction for African countries to hasten artificial intelligence for development, innovation, and responsible digital transformation. So they have the 5 broad priority areas, which is to strengthen regional and international cooperation, to build AI capabilities and skills, and the third one, to stimulate public and private investment, and to hasten AI benefit for Africa's development, and just to minimize the risk and promote responsible AI. So various countries have been taking it upon themselves to come up with their own national AI strategy. For example, we have our neighbor Zimbabwe, who has focused on an inclusive development, innovation, service delivery, and key sectors such as agriculture, health, education, and finance. Nigeria also came up with their own national strategy, focused on responsible, ethical, inclusive AI for economic growth, social development, and technological leadership, as well as Kenya and Egypt, which has focused on governance, data, infrastructure, and talent, technology, and ecosystem development. So these strategies were developed based on their own needs, based on the gaps they have identified. So what is, for those that do not know what a national AI strategy is, it's just a country's roadmap for how it will develop, adopt, govern, and benefit from artificial intelligence. So this will help the country decide now where should AI be used. Should it be in health, agriculture? So we'll still find out. And how AI should be governed to ensure that it's ethical, and what capacity must be built around the AI. And then the last one is how AI can support the economy. So how did the national strategy process emerge? First of all, it started with UNESCO recommendation on AI, on ethics for AI, for responsible AI. And then last year, the REM report was launched by UNESCO, which identified the national readiness gap and opportunities. And that's how now we got the need for a coordinated national artificial intelligence direction. So what is informing this whole AI national, the national AI strategy? It's the RAM report, which gave us the findings, the gaps, the opportunities, and the recommendations. And then, like I mentioned earlier, NCRST was ready to do the whole coordination. And there was a call for technical advisory committee members, which constitute of 210, if I'm not mistaken, experts, and the National AI Working Group from various sectors such as CRAN, NAST, UNAM, and many more. And then a desktop review and policy analysis was also conducted to identify global trends, stakeholder mapping, and institutional landscape. And then the fourth one is the national consultations and data collection, which happened through surveys, town halls, which happen in 6 regions, key informant discussions, focus groups, and thematic consultations. And then the final step is just to synthesize whatever we got out from this stakeholder engagement that is going to now inform the principles, the priorities that we have identified, the objectives, and the implementation actions. So what has been completed so far? Like I mentioned, the technical structures has been established, which constitute the tech members and the AI working group brought together to support the whole process, and the desktop review and policy analysis for national policies, institutional mandates, global trends, and African strategy, African AI strategy examples were also reviewed. And then the stakeholder consultation and data collection. So what's left now is just to do the whole data synthesis, whereby the input that came from the stakeholder engagement to identify the key themes and the strategic opportunities. So we are also going to have various drafting workshops to complete the draft, and then validation workshops with the National AI Working Group, and then the final Namibian National AI Strategy will surface. So this is really just a strategy that is rooted in Namibians' reality, shaped by the voices, experiences, and priorities of people living and working in Namibia. So it reflects Namibia's institutional, economic, and social and development realities. Like you can see that this is a co-production with the communities that are identifying the gaps, the opportunities. As you can see, they are showcasing whatever is coming out from the stakeholders' engagement. So far we only have emerging themes. These are not the final from the consultations. So number one key priority theme that is coming out is people and skills. So we need to build AI awareness around this whole AI topic, capacity building in terms of human leadership, readiness for responsible AI adoption. And the second one is infrastructure and data. Like we all know that Namibia is one of the data scarce regions, so we need to strengthen the digital and data foundation needed for the whole artificial intelligence development. And the fourth one is governance and trust, whereby we need to create an environment for a safe and ethical and accountable artificial intelligence. And the fourth theme is innovation and application to explore how artificial intelligence can support the national priorities, public services, industry, and economic growth. So these are the follow-up activities and approval processes. So Like I mentioned, we are still drafting the National AI Strategy, collaboration with the tech teams, National AI Working Group. So what's left is just to do a validation workshop with the group to get the input. Should we need to go back to the communities for more stakeholder engagement? And then the next one is just the national validation workshop with the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth Services, Art and Culture. And then now we need to now submit, they need now to submit to the National Planning Commission. And then the last point is just cabinet adoption because this is a national activity. So these are the key messages. So how can we now move towards a responsible artificial intelligence future for Namibia? Is through this national AI strategy document, which is built on the UNESCO RAM report, text review, policy analysis, stakeholder consultations. And then it's nationally grounded, which is being shaped by the Namibian realities, priorities, institutions, sectors, and people and working in Namibia, so that we cannot see artificial intelligence as just a technology, but it's also about the capacity that we are building around it to ensure trust and economic development. And then the last goal is just for a responsible and inclusion artificial intelligence adoption. So Namibia's approach really is just to support the development while protecting the people, strengthening institutions, and building the national capacity. So I come to the end of my presentation. So if you have any comment, recommendation, you can talk to me so that we can finalize, get more input for the national AI strategy.
Thank you, Dr. Kanyama. Ladies and gentlemen, as we navigate a future shaped by AI, automation, digital transformation, there is one element that technology can never replace. Who can guess the answer? That will put you in the running for the $3,000 fuel voucher. Humans. Our next speaker reminds us that behind every innovation, every platform, and every breakthrough, there is a human being making decisions, building relationships, and driving change. A business leader with a strong passion for people, human capital, and understanding what truly drives human behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Jamie Smith.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, when Sonia asked me to assist in this matter, I found it quite difficult to pair the human with technology. I spoke to a friend about this, and guess what they said? Ask AI. So my AI's name is Albert, co-pilot's Albert. So I asked Albert 7 different times, and even he had difficulty pairing these two topics. So today we've listened a lot about innovation and technology and design. And everyone has spoken about things that goes way over my head. The key thing is that we have been relying on technology for our hands. Think about it. 73.8% of the world's population makes use of the internet. We rely on it in our vehicles. We rely on it in our work. We rely on it to travel. We rely on AI for everything. We rely on it to tell us what we should wear. We rely on it to tell us what we should like, what books to read, what programs to watch. So inadvertently, we've been relying on technology to make ourselves happy. Now, this is a problem. The only person that can make you happy or is responsible for your happiness is you. You cannot outsource it, unfortunately. Now, with the increase of technology, use of technology, design, innovation, and all those things, we have seen that so many people have become depressed. We have seen things that has emerged like digital dementia. This is real. Things like virtual autism. Things like anxiety. All of these things has increased exponentially over the last 10 years. Think about it, suicide. Namibia has one of the highest suicide rates in the world per capita. That means no other country has the amount of suicides per capita that we have. It is shocking. It is scary. Why is this scary? Now, people think of technology as this be-all, end-all. And because we rely on it to dictate what we do, what we like, how we want to do it, we are forgetting about ourselves. So, how are we going to do this? How are we going to get this back? You know, things like The Matrix and Terminator doesn't seem like such a far-off or far-fetched idea if we continue at this pace that we're continuing. With all of these things, we need to log out and log in so that you can learn to know yourself. Now, in order to know yourself, you need to understand what your values are. So how do we do this? You need to think. You need to ask yourself questions. Now, your values is so super important because that is your base core code. If you are exposed to a situation or if your behavior dictates a situation where your values contradicts with the situation or the behavior that you've exerted, there's a glitch in your system and you get a blank screen. And even though you walk past it, you continue on, there's still a problem and there's an issue that arises. So you need to sit down, free yourself, plug out of everything else, and you need to ask yourself these questions. Now, a lot of people asks me, well, if it's so easy, then why do we do it? Or why don't we do it? Now, thousands of years ago, when our brain has developed to the hardware that it is now, we had to conserve energy. So our brain still has this primary coding of conserving energy. You don't know where your next meal will come from. You don't know where your energy is going to come from. Now that together with the idea that you need to fit in. Now, thousands of years ago, while you're walking on the plains, if you stood out, you were prey. If you were the slowest one in the bunch, you were prey. So I always say, look, I don't need to be the fastest person. I just need to be faster than the person that's the slowest. But that is how our brains are shaped. Now that hardware, I mean, imagine it. Tech that can stay like that for 1,000 years. But our brain is still encoded like that. So we are lazy. We don't want to do it because it's hard, it's tough. Because obviously once you've entered into these values, you will need to change. and we don't like to change. Now, together with these values, you will obviously need to know where you run. Whom of you here have goals? Whom of you have your goals written down? Your goal in your head remains a dream. You need to write down your goals. But why are these things important? We all strive for success. Right? Now, what is success? In my book, Level Up, I tackle these are one of the issues that I tackle. Now, what is success? Success is deeply personal. Success is money. Success is an illusion. Success cannot be reached. It is not a feeling. It is not something that you acquire. Success is a label that society has placed on people who have reached goals that they have not yet. So everybody strives for success. When I was young and somebody asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I always said successful. People laughed at me. I don't know why. But we strive for success every single day. And because we never reach it, we never get that feeling, we never have a tangible thing to say that, oh, okay, now I'm successful, now I've arrived. People become depressed. Now, if I have to dish out the statistics for depression, and especially amongst younger people, it is astonishing. So in order for us to not strive for something that is completely unattainable, I have decided to do away with success and use the term level up. Now, what does level up entail? Level up means that you have to level up every single day. Every single day you need to be 1% better than what you were yesterday. And whatever that 1% is for you will be determined by your goals. If your goal is to save $5,000 by the end of the month, and you know I need to save $10 every single day, then you need to know, once I've done that, once I've saved that money, I've leveled up. I have reached my goal for today. It's attainable. I can now go to bed and rest assured. Now, together with all of these other things, you will have things like habits. I mean, the type of habits that the people have grown over the past 10 years is horrendous. We are not disciplined. And all of these things can only start with you. Even in your workplace, if you are a CEO or an MD sitting there, you must take this back to the individual as well. Yes, you have the most beautiful system that you work with and that automates everything, but there's still a person that needs to push the button. And your technology will only be as good as that person sitting there pushing the button. So you need to understand your people, and you need to know what your people need, what your humans need. And if you don't get them individually to level up, then your organization is not going to go anywhere. Because it's those people that is going to drive these things. It's those people that's going to become the success of the company. Because your AI can't do that personal connection. It is your people. And they will determine what happens next. When we look at all these things together, we need to understand that if we don't want the future to be like the Matrix, or the Terminator. We need to level up. If we don't, then in 5 years' time, we won't be back. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Please give her another round of applause. Miss Jamie, do you have your books available? Yes. They are 450 Namibian dollars, so please just reach out to her for a copy. All right, so moving on to our next segment, we have Mr. Francois. Please bear with me as I pronounce the surnames. Bridenham. Bridenhan, okay. And Mr. Juan Swanepoel to share on autonomous penetration testing. Please give them a round of applause.
Are we going to get a second mic, maybe? Good afternoon, everyone. I feel like a president up here. This is really nice. So I like the sessions close to the break. You know, then every time I have this session, it's quite nice because I prepared a long time ago a speech that I was going to do an introduction or an opener that was close to break, and every time I can just reuse it. So I think I perfected it. So are you guys ready? Here we go. Okay. Lee, you are not allowed to leave. We're about to blow your mind. I see you're trying to move. It's not happening. Nobody is leaving. We have absolutely something amazing. You will be missing out. I see you leaving. I will forgive you for this one. And we are here today to talk to you about AI and penetration testing. I think the TechHuddle this year should have been called the AI Huddle, because looking at what is happening, AI is by far the most important topic. So let's get right into it. I would like to first introduce us. My name is Francois Bridnan. John Swanepoel, we are from CES. We're part of the security operations there. Please scan our code to find direct access to our website, where you'll get more information. Also find us later at the social. We want to chat to you guys. Okay, so AI. I see Claude's stand over there. Yesterday, Claude released Mythos 5. This is not open to the public because it's too dangerous. It is an AI that is too dangerous. It found 10,000 zero-day vulnerabilities that the hackers couldn't do. They couldn't find it. Which I think even the hackers out there right now are going, WTF. AI is winning. We are being replaced. So why don't we put AI in our solution as the pen tester? They are clearly winning. So this is what we're going to discuss to you today. And not only are we going to talk, John is going to give us a very nice presentation as well. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that there are a few people here that once a year put out an RFQ for a penetration tester to come in and come there, and he's usually a bit of a quirky guy. He brings his laptop, Linux, Kali Linux is running on it. He's got thick glasses, he talks a lot, he does a few things, he leaves, and then you wait 2 weeks for the report, you get it, you give it, checkbox, done. We have been pen tested, we are compliant. Or he doesn't send the report at all, and it takes a little bit longer, and he says he's very busy, and oh my goodness. And by the time you get the report, the second day, is the report already outdated once you received it? Okay, every second Tuesday or every Tuesday, it's called Patch Tuesday for a reason. If your report was scanned on a Monday and he delivers it on to you the next week Friday, that report is irrelevant. That report is not useful anymore. So the next topic. Is the report difficult to understand? I think people use buzzwords all the time to confuse people. to make them think that the people know what they're talking about and that they are using this tool and they're using this type of tool and this and that and pictures and screenshots of black and green backgrounds. But do you guys understand the report? Is it meaningful to you? Do you find little to no value from your yearly report? Does it actually benefit you as the company with this penetration test? Or did you just spend a lot of money to get a report that's outdated? Okay, then some people are going to say, oh, but I need this little checkbox. Okay, fine, you need the little checkbox, that's fine. We have to keep in mind that this report needs to be given to exco management and other managers and people who make decisions in the business. And you also don't really want to look like you don't know what you're doing, because if you have a report that just has red, for management, that's going to look like you don't know what you're doing and you're not doing your job. So why don't you use AI to get yourself audit ready? So when a pen tester does show up, he is like, you're rock solid. I tried everything. I can't do anything. Now, the solution we're going to show you today actually uses the tools that the pen testers will use in your environment. And it is, here's the big thing, it is permanently in your environment. How many people say that, pen testers, they cost $300,000 a year. I have the skill, I just need the time, but I can do it myself. But I don't have time. Now you postpone it, ransomware. It's too late. Also, pen testers love doing this thing where they say, I'll give you a free follow-up scan. Because they're giving you a report which they believe has actionable items for remediation in it. But reality, those remediations need to be done by someone, and by the time you do a follow-up scan, they say like, no, 3 months have passed. We don't have a time limit on this. Only 3 months, and then we'll do it afterwards. It expires. So you don't even get that second report, which is another big thing. Then you don't know if you are moving forward. So, what is Horizon 3 AI? And how does this actually work with penetration testing and AI in your environment? Are you going to be installing agents on every PC? No. It's agentless, which means it can be put into your environment. It can be taken out very easily, very simple. No agents needs to be installed. We all have agent fatigue or agent bloat, as people call it. It's production safe. So another big question is, wow, you're going to be literally be hacking my internal servers? There's no way that's happening. I'm not letting an AI loose with hacking tools in my environment. This is proven. This is proven to be production safe. If there's any chance that it will impact anything, it will ask you, warn you, and get confirmation from you before it will even attempt anything. Phishing-enabled operational real-time credential injection. So we all know that mail is our weakest point here. Everybody has mail in this room. Everybody likes free stuff, specials. We like to get things done quickly. Maybe we click link, username, credentials. We quickly just fill it in because we're busy. We're busy trying to penetrate our own thing. We're trying to be our own pen tester, and we're messing it up. Visual attack path with proof. Wish I had a little pointer. I could point on proof and color it in. Proof that it is doing what it's doing. No fake report with green and black screenshots with matrix codes saying that they did something. The literal step-by-step proof of how it was done, how the vulnerability was detected. Oh, yes, another big one. Hackers aren't in your environment, and typically not in Namibia, hopefully not in Namibia. They're out there in the world. We blame Russia, China, whoever. The big ones is, the big fact is that it's external. Now, if you have an application that you are running externally that is important to you, how do you know it's safe? A once-a-year penetration test is not the answer. A vulnerability scan is not the answer. You need to have it pen tested externally constantly. As technology moves, as the hackers identify new vulnerabilities, this will update and run those against your external facing assets and protect you. One-click verify, I love this. So we all have vulnerability scanners, they run us, they tell us to patch anything, and that stays there. We can't get it off the report. It stays there. We need to wait until next week, Monday, when the next vulnerability scan is run, then it's removed. Here you can verify if you patched something immediately. Let's say you have a very important server that you found the vulnerability on, and we are really concerned about it. You can install the patch, click verify right now, and then it will show you. Okay, rapid response. Okay, so this just means that this will automatically update itself, which means it doesn't matter if you have an installation that's being externally or internally pen tested, you will be updated with the latest vulnerability information. So it will automatically run those latest vulnerabilities and pen testing against your environment. Next, we have a demonstration. So I would like to give over to John, but I would like you guys to quickly, if you guys haven't scanned our code yet, you can find us. Otherwise, I will be here with, you guys can come talk to me about this. But I would like us to start moving in a direction where we are using AI to really protect ourselves. We do not want a pen test that comes in once a year and gives us a small little in time, just at that moment, these are the vulnerabilities we had. We want to know all year long what the vulnerabilities are and how they work. I'm going to give over to John now. He's going to connect his device here. I hope that's okay, tech guy. And then I'll just wait on the couch. Has anybody used the couches today? I hope you guys are very excited. This is pretty cool.
Okay, sorry, hi guys. I hope you guys can see there. So this is just the normal dashboard when you log in. To continue what Francois said is we cannot allow a pen tester to come once a year, as this tool is autonomous and it's automatic. So for you it's actually just a one-click
or something. These people use the same word lists that actual hackers use, but they also allow you to give personal information. An example would be, I am working at a company called Adidas. Then I can say my company's name is Adidas. My region where I live is Namibia. We are an shoemaking company. We love selling sneakers. It gives more information, and the AI will generate custom word lists with those words in it to try and brute force your accounts.
Yeah, so they call it tags, and as you add your tags, it will go and search further just specifically on that word. So if you have a specific brand that Adidas or a line of Adidas, it will use that one line to see if it can hack further into that. If there's maybe something that someone dropped somewhere with credentials, and it will go further from there. So this is just an example of the scan has been run. We'll show you a short summary, say what was critical, what critical hosts you could find. And from there, it will say it got business emails, it got compromised attachments, whatever has been used. And from here, it will actually give you a attack path. So it will show you that there was a password spray to 29, and it got 29 breaches. And there's one business email that was impacted from that as well. At the top, you will see there's your impacts, your weaknesses, credentials. This, just from this external search, it got 64 credentials that was leaked, and that could have been used to hack into the system. If you click on your impacts, it will show you also with your attack path, it will show you your host to go to. You can see at the bottom it will give you a score, and this is usually the score you will work from. To start with your 10, which is your most critical, and from 10 of you will work back to fix your environment, to tighten up your home environment. Let me quickly click on this. So here's all the proof. This is just a summary of what they did and what they tried to do and where the breaches are as well. The proof it will give you, which is actually very, very cool. This is what the AI used to hack into the system. This is how it got its credentials. This is how they move further from here. And if you understand all these languages and all these accusations, you can go through it and it will show you, okay, but this is what it did, this is what you need, this is where it got into. Just actually show you.
Let me just correct you, that actual output was an application that was running a brute force against something, and it found credentials and it made a screenshot, and this is the actual output of what happened.
Yes, exactly. And from here you can see it actually used, it came from Node 0, it got in with this CDE exploit it used to get into your system, and from there on it just sprayed on. Here's your proof just again. I quickly want to go back to our internal testing, so I want to show you when they talk about your, or when they found something, they actually give you a step-by-step how to fix your environment, or what settings you can go change in your Active Directory, on your switches, on your whatever the hack they got, where you can change it, and what needs to be done for you to just tighten up your whole environment.
So if it finds a credential and it compromised an account, it will use that and see how far it gets into your system and what it can actually do with those accounts. So that is going to give you more information, where a normal penetration tester will tell you, hey, I got an account, yay. No, not here. We're going to try and use that account and see how far we can get. He talked about 2 days to just do discovery. You show me a pen tester that sits down for 48 hours trying to figure out your environment. This system will do it constantly.
Okay, so yeah, so here you guys can see it actually uses, it got a domain admin account, and from there on it spread. It used Java, it used Sandump, shared local shares, your domain credentials it got, and this is the host he got it from. And from there on it moved laterally. It also took the AI 1 hour and 21 minutes just to hack this account and then cause havoc in the system. When you click on what happened, I just quickly want to show you guys.
small screen is breaking. Okay, so here you guys can see this is the credentials it got, and from here the host that got compromised with these credentials, it went onto their production systems, and from there it caused all the chaos. Yes, also your attack path, so it will definitely show you what it did, when it did it, and where it did it as well. And your result from there will then help you to fix everything. I just Okay, so just quickly show you here. First of all, this is the proof. What it used was the Python, everything. And to fix this poisoning, there's a fix action. From here on, it will actually give you all your options what to do. It will say this policy and disable just on the selected hosters. And from this, you can actually just go with your screenshots, your how-tos, and after this is done, you can go back. And it's what Francois talked about. You have your one-click verify. Just back. Impacts. Actually, cannot click on it now. My screen is too small, but you actually just you can just use your weakness. You can there's a tick on this side. I cannot just get to it now. And you can just click. There's a literally one button. You will click on it, you say one-click verify, and instantly it will verify if the system can still use that credential to get there or use that application to get there. And if that is done, it will better your score. And the best thing of this is after you've worked for 1 month now and you change all this stuff, you can run your pen test again to see what is your score now. It will also, on your dashboard, in your summary, it will give you so let me show you insights. This will also just give you an overview on how your last 12 months have gone. Have you started here and you ended up here now? Or have you started here and just go up from there as well? So this is also good to give reports back to your executive management and tell them, listen, this is where we were, this is where we are now, and yeah, this is what we can do for the company.
Yeah, so I mean, if you think about it, let's say there's a new vulnerability that pops up on Google and your financial manager gets hold of this and they say, I want to know if we are vulnerable. You say, well, I'll go find out quickly. And you're like, oh, we are vulnerable. We have to patch our systems. Okay, patch it now. It's very urgent. You patch it, you click one-click verify, and you show them it's fixed. That financial manager can actually go to bed and sleep tonight because it will actually know that the work was done. And that is what we are trying to do. We cannot fix all the vulnerabilities. We cannot do everything at once. We have to prioritize. We need to make sure that we actually do get the most important ones first, and we want to see our security posture get better. So why still have your yearly $300,000 pen test when you can buy a system that pen tests you continuously?
So, sorry, in addition to that as well, for the cloud testing, there is no resources on your environment needed. But for your internal, like Francois said, there's no agent you need to install. You just get a small OBA. I think it's like 1.2 gigs. You need to import. You can use it on VMware hypervisors, Hyper-V. I know they do. What's the other one? Yeah, Proxmox. You can import it, you can set it up, you just allow that one IP to talk outside, and from there on, that is your runner. If you do internal scanning, it will just use that small VM you are using, and from there on, you don't use any resources on your network anymore.
Okay guys, so I think we've also run out of time. We have so much more to say about this. We really want to do proof of values, proof of concepts. If you guys are interested and you do have this fear at night of not knowing if you are vulnerable, please come find us. We'll be here, we'll be at the social. Please come find us. We would love to speak to you about your security needs, and we would love to run a POC or POV to prove to you the value of continuous pen tests. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for them, please. The QR code is again. All right, so our next two speakers are going to share on the 7 stages of AI. So they are right before the break. Please help me welcome Sean van Eden and Aldo van Donderen. I'm trying very hard to pronounce these names.
Thank you to SALT and the TechHuddle team for the invitation and for building a stage where Namibia's technology community can think out loud together and get all protocols observed. My name is Sean van Eden, to represent Foresight. I want to start by saying the most important thing where people are just glad to say at an AI conference. Somewhere it was in this room or in winter, woke up this morning and said, is AI replacing my job? Let that sink in. I'm pretty sure a lot of you thought about this. I would like to talk to what Sonia and her panel mentioned earlier on before the lunch break, that it's quite intricate. So let me answer directly. No, I don't think it's going to replace the job whatsoever. Done well, AI doesn't replace your people. It promotes them. It takes the photocopying, the chasing, the retyping of documents, the driving documents from one side to another across the country, and it hands the time back to those people. So your people can do the work could do. Jamie reminded us that technology is a human story before it's a technical. That's the question Foresight gets out of bed. Because the future of the workforce isn't fewer people, it's people lifting. So who are we? Foresight is a digital AI transformation partner and technology group. We take a portfolio of fourth industrial revolution and our people with data-focused solutions, and we use them to design, to develop, to deploy, and to grow real outcomes for our customers in Namibia and Africa together. We're not here today as a vendor with a product to push, but we're here today as a partner that has done this work across enterprises, across operations, business enablement, and the public sector. And the lesson every time is the same. Technology doesn't transform a business. People using it well does. Now, let me make that concrete with one of the solutions that we are going to bring to you today, Foresight. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about online electronic signature programs out there. Foresight is a modern electronic signature platform, and the promise is 3 words: create, send, sign, and it's done. Picture what that gives a person back. The contract that used to be printed, scanned, couriered to the coast, signed and driven back over 3 days. Now, uploaded once, signed from a phone anywhere in the country within minutes. And underneath that simplicity, it's AI power and automation. Intelligent workflows, reusable templates, automatic filing. That's all wrapped in an enterprise-grade security, which is end-to-end encryption, digital certificates, and tamper-proof audit trails. I see that as an important point. That record who signed what and when. So for this room, that trust is the whole point, because people only hand work over to something that they trust. And working over to this trust, it's hosted in Microsoft. There's data sovereignty in mind, and it lives where your people already work together. which is inside Microsoft Office, inside Teams, inside Outlook, in Word. That's not AI taking any job. That's AI doing the heavy lifting and giving a person back their afternoon. So here's the thing. It's a journey, stage by stage. And as an organization climbs it, something happens to its people. They move up. From doing the task to checking the AI that does its work, to directing the whole workflows that run themselves. So most organizations have no map for that climb whatsoever. They don't know what stage that they're on. They don't know what good really is. So Foresight built one. Okay? Foresight built a 7 stages of AI. And this, for my audience today, is a maturity model that takes you from prompt and pace today to AI orchestrated work by the end of the decade. It's the lens we use to meet every customer and every workforce exactly where they are and show them where they can go next. And there is no other better person to walk you through this than the man who lives and breathes it. He's the divisional head of our ND division at Foresight. That's not an accident. He's the architect of how we think about AI maturity. Put your hands together. Please welcome my colleague Aldo van Tonder. He will take you through the 7 stages of AI. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for allowing us the opportunity to present here this afternoon. I have managed to listen to some of the sessions during the course of the day, and it's quite phenomenal how the technology community is adjusting to this digital economy that we are in and is continually growing. I think what a lot of people are also asking us is, how real is this AI thing, and is it the bubble that's going to burst, etc., etc. I think the reality is, no matter where you are, and we see this in all the countries that we operate in and across the globe, if you are not starting your AI journey, you are almost too late. I think that's one thing that is critical to take away from this afternoon session. We, utilizing this maturity roadmap that we developed, are customer zero. We were the first customer to go on this journey. Why we focus on this is that what will make AI work is how people adopt it in your organization and how you think differently, how people will use it in your organization. We've been using AI for a very, very long time. I mean, you've had Alexa on the Samsungs, you've had Siri, you might be using Copilot. There's a lot of technologies that have already utilized the AI capability, but it's always the human that will make a decision. You can have all the tech in the world, but if someone doesn't prompt, someone doesn't give it an instruction, someone doesn't automate it, it's not going to do anything for you. This AI that can learn from behavior and therefore make recommendations. And the simple example I always want to use is if you look at the screen and you see the background on the presentation, and everyone in the room says it's pink, the next person that's going to ask the question, the probability is the answer is going to be pink. So AI has got no emotions, it's got no feelings. It cannot think for itself, cannot do for itself. It can rapidly execute certain actions, but it is incredibly important that a human is still part of this. You'll also see that I referred to frontier. Frontier is a term that is dubbed in the technology world, initially initiated by Microsoft, as an organization that is fully invested and fully operational using AI in their business. There is only, 15 companies companies globally that is walking this path with Microsoft as a technology vendor, and we are proudly one of them and the only one on the continent. AI adoption and how you go through it is very, very important. And we refer to it as adopt change intelligence, not change management, because there's intelligence behind it. And it serves as how you change the behavior and the culture to accelerate through every stage to give you the real benefits of AI. We're seeing a lot of customers that are investing in the technology, and when talking to the exec, the CIO, the CEO, the CFO, the CTO, a lot of them are saying, but I'm using this stuff, but I'm not seeing the benefit. So I can automate the document, that's great, but what my manufacturing process? What is the impact on how my people are utilizing it? And a lot of people are struggling to get through it. And that's what I want to share with you today. What we've developed is a structured maturity roadmap that is measurable, that has got 5 outcomes that you can utilize. There's key things that you need to establish per stage, and it is to do with human behavior, and it is to do with the technology itself. There's continuous learning, responsible AI, and I've heard that word a lot today, is that we have to be responsible in the way that we utilize it, but also ultimately get to a phase where we can autonomously and using agentic AI be proactive, and data can help make this. Very important, the last aspect, the human oversight. So what is this roadmap that I'm referring to? I will give you examples of 3 of the stages in what it actually means. So number 1, most organizations are kind of sitting between stage 1 and stage 2. They're either experimenting or they're learning. In other words, the teams are exploring basic AI tools, they're doing simple prompts, there's a lot of curiosity around it, they might be using it in their production environments already, but they're not still playing with it. In stage 2 is where you really start learning. You build the foundational skills and the confidence of what AI can deliver for you. And you'll see, even though we are a very, very strong Microsoft-aligned organization, there's no tech features on any of the slides that I'm going to show you today. Because the maturity model is to what the technology is that you actually utilize. So, in level 2, people start learning. They start building skills, they start building confidence, they understand that AI is safe. They understand that there has to be guardrails in place, not barriers, guardrails. A barrier is an immovable object. A guardrail can be moved slightly, but it keeps you on the right path. It's also important that you start identifying who is the change makers, who's the people that are seeing the benefit. Then we start talking about innovation. Looking at defined use cases. How can I optimize the procurement process? Automatically push an RFI out or an RFP out. Evaluate all the responses based on certain criteria. Shortlist for me X amount of candidates and then take it through the normal process. That could save you hours and days worth of work. Practical example, our organization itself has increased efficiencies in certain areas by 30 to 40%, in other areas by 3 to 400%. That means people are producing the output typically of what 3 or 4 other people could do. Doesn't mean that they are replaceable. It just means that they can now be applied to critical functions where a lot of mundane activity can actually help you automate, especially if you use the right tools and processes around it. When you start reaching stage 4, a siloed approach. A lot of people do POVs, proof of value. Our approach is a top-down approach. In other words, from the executive. So when we talk AI, everyone knows what AI means. When we talk automation, everyone knows what automation means. So AI starts expanding across the team, shaping the way that people are working, reshaping the workflows. That is not something sitting on the side that I use to ask questions with. It is part of my daily work. It is part of what I use every single day to fulfill my role as the Chief Digital Officer and Information Officer for Foresight. When you start moving to stage 5, it becomes an institutionalization. It becomes part of the way that we work. Everything starts becoming AI first processing. So anything that I do, I start thinking, how can I use AI to better this specific activity that I've got? Whether it be in the field, in the office, in the corporate function, wherever you might be. When you start reaching stage 6, you've got strong governance in place, you've got the correct security in place, you've got and ensure that responsible AI frameworks is being, and that will start giving you predictability on how can I further improve. Because now that I've standardized things, I get access to the data, I can start seeing, here's another step in the process I can automate, here's another area where I can start using AI in my environment. And ultimately in stage 7, it's a fully integrated, all in A to Z, AI embedded across every single system, across every single decision, across every single business operation. Two practical examples. When we put out a position for someone to join the organization, we get a fair amount of CVs coming in, sometimes in the hundreds. A typical talent person is not really able in the HR department obviously sift through all of those in the old ways. So what we do is we built a little agent using AI, and what it does is it measures the CVs that was put out, and it creates a shortlist from there. The second step that it does is it then starts looking at the KPIs and KPAs of that job, and it starts creating a further shortlist. Then it goes and does social crawling and starts seeing what can we find about this person, their behavior, did they publish articles, is there something we need to know about them on LinkedIn, whatever the case needs to be, and that creates us a further shortlist. And from that, we start interviewing. In the interview process, if I get involved in it, I will sit live with my co-pilot and ask the questions like, is this a textbook answer? How confident is the person about the response that they're giving based on the question that was asked? And I have to be very honest with you, we are yet to hire the wrong people. So just doing that gets our talent people to focus on getting the real talent and use it to optimize their processes in their environment. And secondly, from there, it immediately identifies the candidates so we can shorten the process of having to go through tons and tons of information to actually get the best candidate for a position. One simple use case example. Another example I can use is we received an RFP the other day. I put it into my co-pilot and I said to her, please map it up to all of the offerings that we currently have and create me a high-level risk matrix of if I were to respond to anyone. We did that, gave us a good response. We used that as the baseline. We added certain things in. I asked my AI to give me additional costing, work me out the scope of work, even do the project schedule and the plan for me. And after that, we actually submitted the tender and we already made it through to the next round. So just to kind of give you an idea, again, a very simple process. You can do it. Now, if I go a little bit deeper into 3 of the stages, I want to show you stage 1, 4, and 7, just so you can get an idea of what it actually means. So what do we want to do in stage 1? It's what I call AI curiosity. So a team in an organization is starting to become curious about how AI can be used. And again, they know about AI, they've heard about it, they might use it in their personal capacity, but it's not institutionalized across the business yet. So they start doing hands-on experiments. They start doing certain sessions, they start sharing a bit of knowledge, they start prompting, seeing how they can do it. And that is a cultural and mindset change. Instead of having to go and look for a document, I can ask my co-pilot or AI, find me the latest version of the document and do what it needs to go and do. By that, I save time, I get operationally more efficient. So, there's that cultural mind shift change that has to happen. That's why consultants that typically help customers through this journey are cross-key certified, which is a global adoption and change management principles that looks at human behavior, how they would need to change and what is the best approach to help them to adjust to the change that is coming. Then very important, the capability and skills is exploratory. People don't know what they don't know. They don't know how to start utilizing it. They don't know how to ultimately create the best prompt, give them the best response. I always say if someone wants to start experimenting, go to, as an example, your co-pilot and say, in my role, give me the top 5 better for myself. And it will give you an idea because it understands the way you work. It's embedded in your environment. It's integrated into your work environment. You're not using a third-party system out there where confidential data is shared and everything. It's part of your corporate environment. That starts building skills and confidence. Then you start looking at, all right, so I've got some processes. How can I start automating some of these processes? And we're not talking about a workflow engine. What we're talking about is intelligent automation. In other words, making a decision based on certain processes and data and moving it on to the next stage to be able to do that for me. I, as an end user, can now create my own, what is now referred to as an autopilot. So I've got an autopilot that runs in the background for me, and what it does is it looks at my inbox, it looks at my calendar, it looks at my team chats. And it culminates that for me in what is important, what do I need to action, what is urgent, automatically accepts and manages my diary on my behalf. So if there's an opening, it will accept the meeting. If it comes from certain people, it will ask questions. If there is a conflict, it will propose a new time. I don't have to go and do that anymore. I've got an autopilot that I did through prompting, not through code, through prompting that automatically manages my day for me. That gives me back a lot of time in the day to focus on what is really important, and that's talking to customers. And the outcomes that you're going to get is an optimized way internal talent will start getting identified and those skills can then start being fostered. So that's when we do a maturity assessment, which is obviously the start to understand where you are. This is typically what will happen in your stage 1. Go through the stages and we go to stage 4 as an example. This is where you start scaling processes across the organization. Things like updating, creating certain things, sentiment analysis, all of those. Depends on which one you choose. You spoke on it, you've got access to all of them by default with no additional cost. Your deliverables will be new governance framework. So how do I control my structured and my unstructured data so the right people only get access to the right things? I always say, if you want to see how broken your organization is, go and ask for confidential information in any of your search environments, in your business. Those roles, those responsibilities, those security postures are incredibly important to set up to ensure that a user with elevated rights or no elevated rights doesn't have access to potential confidential information. And that we take you through stage 2 and 3 to ensure that that governance is in place. Governance comes straight from AI policies, governance control, to data security, to all of that. It's not a technology discussion. It's a policy that you have to have in place to ensure that this is a success. Then you start looking at skills. So you start scaling the AI usage across departments. Functions like HR, finance, administration, sales, operations, best use cases immediate ways. I can use it quicker, so I can do more of it. So if I take it on the top, we're going to make it more. Then you start looking at formalizing a lot of procedures, ensuring standardization is there and not siloed approach. And this is, and the executive, the top starts actually meeting and coming together. And the outcomes of that will be visible, measurable outcomes on productivity and cost benefit. Guaranteed. So you'll see this thing used to take 10 minutes to do, it now takes 1 minute to do, so I can do 10 of them at the same time as what I used to be able to do. And I can turn that into efficiencies, productivity, is help them change their behavior in the way that they actually utilize it. And then happening in stage 7 is when you are really frontier level in there. Everyone and everything that you do in the business becomes a strategic asset to the business. In other words, I'm working and I'm automating certain things and I'm using my Copilot or I'm using my AI tools, and that is now an asset to the business. And that asset can get redeployed for people to use. There's no more mundane administrative heavy lifting tasks there. Everything starts becoming autonomous, everything starts becoming automated in your business. Doesn't mean that you have to use your people. Shift change at this level would be there that they are able to actually use it. I can give you multiple examples where I sit with CEOs of very, very large organizations, and their words to me are simple. You take my AI license away, I cannot do my work without it. Because that's how entrenched it is in their environment. And AI is actually a very cost-effective way to do it. Because it allows you the ability to scale and utilize all of the fancy tech that is out there to change the human behavior that people actually utilize. So it's culture and mindset change, because then at this level, everyone is already in that mindset change. The skills are there to be able to transfer. So rather than in an induction session, letting someone know this is where the coffee machine is and that's where the bathroom is, and this is how we fill in the paper and all kinds of stuff like that, rather spend an induction session saying, here's the top 5 prompts that you're going to need to do in your job. This is how it's going to help you in your organization. So the skills and capabilities will be there. Objectives. If it doesn't add value to the business, why am I doing it? So every single initiative in AI is ultimately linked to a strategic or an operational initiative, and they are fully AI connected. It is an enterprise-wide, interconnected AI ecosystem in your business, not necessarily with the outside world. You can expand it if you choose to. Ongoing optimization. So here you say, now that I've got it, how can I continuously optimize it? When I, as an example, speak to customers about using Copilot as the example, every single week I speak to them, my presentation has to change. Whatever I am doing now, potentially in a couple of weeks' time, it's going to be old. They say that the technology cycles used to change in a 1 year, 2 year cycle when the internet started. The 1 year cycle of technology changes. Where we are today, technology changes every 6 weeks. So let's think in for a second. That this something that was not even thought up 6 weeks ago is now working in the world. That's how fast we move. And I cannot reiterate enough. Start this journey as soon as possible, but do it the right way. Do not forget your people. They are the foundation and the heart and the most important of your organization. Enable them to use it. Enable them in a secure, governed, controlled manner to use it so you as the business themselves by utilizing these skills. So what we want to try and show you is there is a way that you can do it successfully, no matter what technology you use. This is a controlled, structured, mannered way. We, as a listed organization on a stock market, was the first organization to do it. We are customers. We have taken multiple customers globally through this journey, and they have various phases. Large organizations are 1 and 2. Some small organizations are on 4 and 5. Some of them are starting to reach on level 6 and 7 already. But there is an approach that you can follow, and we will help you, guide you with our partnership with Salt to actually get you zero to hero using AI in a very, very rapid way. Thank you very much from me and from Sean for the opportunity to present today. I hope that it planted a little seed with you to think differently. There's a lot of tech that was spoken about today. There's a lot of things that you need to consider. entrepreneurs, don't forget your people, help them on this journey through it. That's it from my side. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate the opportunity. Sean and Vanessa, back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Aldo. Great presentation. That's exactly what Foresight is about these solutions and technologies. And I just want to close off with, I see our QR code is not up, but once it comes up, please scan our QR code or just come to our stand on that side, because you've noticed that I've given very little context on our solution on Foresight, but there was a reason for that. I would like you to interact with me, that I can explain to you what the technology is about and how to use it and how it is available to you as an organization or as a user. Thank you very much to the audience. Thank you very much to the Huddle team and SALT for having us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sean and Mr. Aldo. Okay, so there is a book giveaway before we head over to our break. So the question that I'm going to ask, and I'll ask Sonia to be the judge of that answer. Sonia, are you around? Vanessa, maybe you can help me. So the question is, what is the difference between level up and success? Anyone? Anyone? Yes. Mike, please, somebody. Level up and success, according to Miss Jamie Smith. What is the difference between level up and success?
She noted that success is an illusion. Level up is something that you can do every day to be 1% better than you were yesterday.
Give him a round of applause, please. I think you deserve this book. Thank you so much. All right, I'd just like to take this moment to thank the Deputy Minister, the members of Parliament, for staying throughout the sessions. It's really motivating us, and we really appreciate your participation, your engagement, and your time to spend the whole day with us. Please give them a round of applause. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we head over to our break, just a 15 minutes break for tea and coffee and snacks, and then we come back for the conclusion of our segment, or our event for today. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please don't forget to come back for our lucky draw for the fuel voucher.
Okay, I want to quickly make the lucky draw. One.
That just doesn't.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry, just a second.
I'm sorry. What is the
okay.
The separate email or just it was
Okay, it's fine now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I get it now. You get it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
May I just do it? Sorry,
Sure,
sorry. I
go
see
for
why
it.
it was still on. Okay. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we can get back to the last segment on our agenda. If we can have everyone back in the room, seated at their respective seats, so that we can start with the last segment. For that $3,000 Namibian fuel voucher. Please note, no Salt Essential IT staff members will be participating. Just a word of thanks to our sponsors this afternoon: Microsoft, Dell Technologies, Complete Enterprise Solutions, Supermicro, Foresight, UBS Software Africa, Fortinet, and Huawei Technologies. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we have got two standing items on the last segment of our agenda this afternoon. He is no stranger to the stage. He was here this morning debating with Vanessa. Let's welcome back Johan van Rooyen to present to us on the topic From Exposure to Confidence, Simplifying Cybersecurity Complexities. Please put your hands together for Johan.
All right, good afternoon. Did the cookies and coffee do it for the last session, Angelo? All right. So the boring hour is upon us, and I'll try to make mine not as boring as I can. So, Salt Security Maturity Matrix. I'm having a look at that, and something went wrong at the bottom here. Do you see that? So somebody forgot the subtitle, which was not necessary. So we'll discuss the subtitle then. Salt Security Maturity Matrix. If you hear the name, what do you suspect it to be, and what do you think it's there for? We had Francois from CES just now explaining the penetration testing and the automated way of doing it. Did you also explain the cost involved in that normally? Is that the later stage that you'll explain? So about a year ago, when we started working on our security portfolio in Salt, one thing I've noticed, and that was not just at Salt, that was at previous companies as well, is that we, good and well to have penetration testing and vulnerability scans and security audits and all of that, but taking it into a Namibian context, we've seen the following. The first one, Angelo, het jy geld altyd daarso? Julle wil nie gee nie. Nee, ons ken daai. All right. Then we have the other problem. We get companies that says they don't know where to start. They know it needs to be a penetration test, or it must be internal or external. And what do? Vanessa, they all go and they go AI it. And they send us a tender. And it says everything, top to bottom. And that 28.5 million cost comes out, and they go, that's not exactly what we had in mind. So what we started was to develop something that makes more sense to Namibian companies, both big and small, to take vulnerability scanning, penetration testing, both internal and external, and minimize it in a very condensed way of doing, which on the end is the following. It's not a complete penetration test, it's not a complete vulnerability, but you get the value of what's wrong in your company. Normally, the first penetration test is the most complex. It's the one that people don't know where to start. And what we do with this is your starting point before going into a massive penetration test. It gives you the starting ground, basically, to have an idea what's going on in your network. We also get the companies that says, well, we're just 20 people. We don't know why we need to do it, but we need to do it. It comes from corporate, or it's part of a certain standard. but we're a company of 20 people. And this fits in well into this, into the cost and into the first step into penetration testing. So not really going to speak off the slides. Again, numerous companies feel they're too small. They don't understand why. Some organizations lack the necessary maturity. Some just see it as a complex undertaking. And then the one that we see the most is, ons het nie geld nie. We don't know where to start, ons het nie geld nie, but we need to do something. So, and that's where we started to make this more sense. So, we start with vulnerability scans, penetration testing, device assessment, and your security posture.
Ahoy!
So, and from that, we jump into only 3 levels of reporting. Because some of you would know the penetration testing reporting is 80% of the cost at sometimes, because it's a massive report. So what we do is we break it down into 3 levels: low, medium, and high risk.
Hey,
risk,
Subong!
obviously, the worst one. And when you're at a low risk, you are then ready to go into a big penetration test.
Hi, you well?
Do it
I'm good. Nice to
for
see you.
certain standards. This is the other problem we've realized.
That's it.
The different frameworks, different standards.
Hey, it's been too long.
Hospitals does HIPAA, but legal standards for
We've been waiting for this day. It's been a little while.
only one that really follows certain
Finally arrived.
standards is the banks that needs to
Can we
follow
just do the
PCI
beginning one more
DSS.
time? So with
And now with
just
Francois, maybe you can remember. Is it
Piloya mumtulo wa mimhina. Piloya mi. Umtulo wa mi. Umtulo wa mimina.
I don't know. It changes one different thing. That gets difficult, and because of that, we move away from those standards. Not in an enterprise environment, but
I've been walking for days and days, listening to you. You keep on humming the same old tune. All of the things that you've been through match the scars on your face like tattoos. In a couple of days, we could be gone, leave with nothing and start traveling home. No time to rest, been here before, in the undergrowth, divided by
remember, this is
the single mode.
So this is not based.
He said, in this town, I'm begging to find someone who can save me. And it's been tearing me apart while I've been waiting. And nothing's been that easy for me lately. But the city is my heart and I've been waiting.
So just an example.
The city is my heart and I've been waiting.
Company, no back. Outdated network, infrastructure, no firmware, none of this is being updated.
I'm looking for something now. Don't trip when you might stop.
It's normally the company you walk into where you go, oh, this is going to be a long, long month. So that's basically what that would be. Tier 2 starts moving into client processes and basic understanding of security. Certain components are already established or in place. They do perform certain forms of patching, yet vulnerabilities remain. Vulnerability scanning never done. And
stop thinking you're too tall. Magnificent, come around. Another trip in the cop car.
Installed, but not really used to the certain extent. So you
take time to reform, yeah. Just give me the food for a while.
Would know you get a firewall, brand new 40 gate. It's installed.
If you don't fall down.
All, any, out, any. There we go. Working. No problem. 5 minutes setup. No security whatsoever. You can just use your normal 3G, 4G device and you wasted your money on that Fortinet. Lower risk is where companies do vulnerability scans. They do address it. They are at a point where they can perform pen tests. They do look at things like to regularly review the hardware and the updated security configurations. And in their situations, a lot of the time, it's to foster a culture of awareness, security awareness, where you move away from technology but more to the people. Because this is what we see as well. You have all the technology in place. You have all the bells and whistles. The vehicle works well. It's oiled. And you never actually trained your people on the ground how to use it properly. Or the other situation, we know this as well. What happens normally in a security situation? We have, in situations like this, you have all the equipment and you have one or two users not protected, and that's normally where your problem comes. And they are not even aware that they're doing something wrong. And this is where your low risk, where we then move into training those staff members. And a person that can really help you with that is Vanessa. If I can get her off AI and cloud, then she trains security quite well. So I didn't want to make it a long presentation, but basically we have used this in the last year with quite a few companies, and the good thing about it is where the client then says, well, it wasn't that complex and it wasn't that costly. We also have a cost model that we work per user, per device, and per network equipment, and that scales well from a small company into bigger companies. And you would find that companies end up seeing just a massive cost, but they can't really see what the cost is. The way we do it is you now realize how it is per user, per device, and your massive amount of equipment might be in the company. So we've used this successfully in the last year. It was something new we decided to develop, and it was more to get companies buy-in into security postures, not just penetration testing or vulnerability scans, but to really understand their network. So that being said, any questions? None? I'll be around for these who want to. Angelo, is nou tyd. Is nou tyd om te gaan en die goede reg te maak.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Johan van Rooyen. We have come to the end of our official agenda. It was a long day, but it was worthwhile. I'm looking in the room for the majestic dame. Walter? So, Sonia has, and she's got copyright on this, we have dubbed her Majestic Dame because of a title Managing Director, and that sounds too intimidating. So we just say our Majestic. So we would like the Majestic Dame to come to the front to do the closing remarks. Madam Majestic. Salties. All salties. Old and new. New and old. Everyone employed in Salt Essential Information Technology, please join your Majestic on stage.
I've been walking for days and days, listening to you. You keep a humming the same old tune. All of the things that you've been through match the scars on your face like tattoos. In a couple of days we could be gone, leave with nothing and start traveling home.
Wow, I'm very loud. I'm normally loud. Right, good afternoon. I stand on all protocols observed. As we close TechHuddle, I want to thank each of you for contributing to a day that has been deliberate, relevant and necessary. Our time here today was well spent with a theme from trust to touch. Shape a human-centric future. It has not merely framed today's program, it has challenged us to think more carefully about the kind of technology future we want to build and are building. More importantly, for who we're building it. Today's conversation has reminded us that technology leadership is no longer only about capability, it's about responsibility. We have engaged with topics ranging from frontier AI, Namibia AI strategy, modern network security, AI-powered workplaces, the future of the workforce, trusted digital public infrastructure, and in the practical realities of digital inclusion. We have heard from both industry and public sector voices represented in this program. The breadth matters. It tells us that the future will not be shaped in silos. It will be shaped through partnerships, courage, and shared commitment to relevance. We stand out most clearly in this. The conversations about innovations has matured. We are no longer speaking only about what technology can do. We are speaking about what technology should do. It should strengthen trust. It should simplify complexity. It should improve how people work, how institutions serve, how economies grow, and how societies include. If digital progress does not remain human-centric, it loses its legitimacy. That is why the emphasis of today's program is so important. At SALT, we believe that the value of technology is not found in novelty for its own sake. It is value found in enablement, in helping people work better, decide faster, connect more meaningful, and build more resilient organizations. That is why platforms such as TechHuddle 2026 is so important. They create space for serious engagement, practical insights, and honest dialogue between those building technology, those regulating it, those investing in it, and those relying on it every day. I want to extend our sincere appreciation to every speaker, panelist, exhibitor, sponsor, organizer, and attendee. Thank you for your substance. Thank you that you brought into this room. Thank you for choosing discussion over noise, insight over trend chasing, and collaboration over posturing. Events such as this only succeeds when people show up with intent. And today, that intent was evident. A special word of appreciation must go to the SALT team, Vanessa Maresh, Grace Kachivena, Tangeni Shreduka, and Ernest Kachab, who carried the weight behind the scenes to make this day possible. Bernice Waka, that made magic beans grow. Excellency is rarely accidental. It is planted, coordinated, refined, and delivered by people who care deeply about the outcome. Today reflects that effort, time, and dedication. As we leave here this afternoon and move into the networking section, let us not allow today to become another good event with forgotten notes. Let us carry forward the urgency of what we have heard. Let us build technology that people can trust, systems that institutions can rely on, and experiences that remain anchored in human dignity, usefulness, and inclusion. Technology is a basic human right. Let us move from conversation to implementation, from awareness to action, and from possibility to measurable impact. This is where leadership is tested. Thank you for being part of TechHuddle 2026. Thank you for investing your time, your expertise, and your convictions in shaping a more capable, more secure, and a more human-centered digital future. Enjoy the networking session, travel safely, and let us continue the work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sonia. Just before we go off, I think it's only befitting that because we opened the ceremony this morning with the African Union, I almost said European Union again, the African Union anthem and the Namibian national anthem.
Let us all unite and celebrate together the victories won for our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. Namibia, land of the brave freedom fight, we have won. Glory to their bravery, whose blood waters our freedom. We give our love and loyalty, together in unity. Contrasting beautiful Namibia, Namibia, our country, beloved land of savannas, hold high the banner of liberty. Namibia, our country, Namibia, motherland, we love thee. Let us all unite and celebrate together the victories won for our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together.
Ladies and gentlemen, the QR code for Johan will be up on the screen if you want to connect with Johan. The QR code for Johan will be up on the screen. As for the fuel voucher, we will announce it at the networking session. You can also stay for the QR code for the lucky draw, so you can scan the QR code for that voucher. Remember, no partner, no salty is allowed to participate. The QR codes currently on the screen is that of Johan, the session that ended just before Sonia spoke. The next QR code that will come up will be the QR code for that voucher.
Namibia,